Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout out to the whole LGBT. If you like this video, please feel free to like the video, and if you want to, please feel free to subscribe to the videos, to the channel as well. So I was looking through my Instagram feed and I follow a lot of the footballers, you know what I mean? A lot of the good footballers. So what I came across was one FC Porto player that really has some choice words about the situation that he endured in a recent game. And in essence, those words were to the fans of that game and also to the referee of that game. And the thing is, again, and I've said it in previous videos, that maybe it's time for African players and players of other minorities who may have dark pigmentation, maybe it's time for them to just boycott the game altogether until FIFA and UEFA do away and make more strict guidelines on when it comes to racism in the stadiums. Because again, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, that it's not going to stop unless something drastic is done for it to stop. Because here you are again with the player who walked off the pitch because he is a human being, because he has dignity for himself, because he has respect for himself. And any respectful person is going to do that. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to walk off the pitch. Okay? Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you call me a racial slur in my face, then I'm gonna get my respect. And you may not like how I get my respect. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. You know, we're taught, okay, that we have to be the bigger people, that we have to just ignore it, that we have to just let it go on the wayside. But sometimes you have to let demonstration speak louder than words. And sometimes that demonstration has to be basically something that will make the perpetrator not forget, and something that will make the perpetrator think twice about uttering it again. Because otherwise, we're just going to be going in a circle over and over again with the same thing. And I would have did the same thing. I would have walked off the pitch as well. If someone, you know, you're paying to come to the stadium to watch me play, and you have the nerve to utter racist slurs towards me, and you're paying your hard-earned money to watch me play the game, I'm cool. And the thing is about the whole situation that makes it sad is it came from the fans of the team he used to play for. So that just makes me think of one or two things. Number one, it makes me think either that they were hiding this all along, and that because he played for their team, it was better for them just to keep their mouth shut, you know. Or number two, it had to do with the simple fact that he was playing for the other team, a better team in FC Porto, and they just had to find a way to, you know, get under his skin, and they knew that was the way to do it. Because I think on this Victoria team, there's other black people there, but That should be an indication, though, right there in itself, that, you know, if you're black and you're on that team, man, you might as well leave that team. Because if they're gonna do this to him on the opposite team, what do you think they think of you? You're only good enough because you're playing on the team. And again, this goes to colonialism. This goes to the whole problem of colonialism. This goes to the whole history of Portugal. You know, there was this Portuguese woman, and I didn't want to engage and have this conversation with her, you know, because I think the only reason why she says what she says is for the simple fact that she had a kid with a black dude. So I think that's the only reason why she says what she says. But I don't agree with her. She tried to tell me, because I still got family in Portugal who tell me all the time what kind of shit they go through. You know what I mean? I still got family there. So what I'm saying is this. It has to do with the society at large, Portuguese society. You know, what some people do, this is why I notice. Some people put this image out of Portugal as a how should I put it? What's a good word I can use? I guess you can say a multi-ethnic society that all the ethnic groups live in harmony with one another, and that there is no problems and there is no rifts between the groups. But that's not the truth. It's not the truth at all. And some Portuguese have even gone as far as to say that that Portugal is the most racial harmonizing place in Europe. And it's crazy because I'm going to tell you a story that happened recently. I went to a Super Bowl party, and it was with the other Cape Verdeans. And I have what we call Lafa. I have my Lafa on, and for those of y'all who don't know, a Lafa is just basically a skull cap, and Amilcar Cabral wore it. You know what I mean? And I wore it to the party. And I'm going to tell you something, that there was a Portuguese guy there. And I can sense from his energy that he was uncomfortable with me, because of the simple fact I have that on. I have my beard, you know, grown out. And he can tell that, you know, I guess he can see my dad in my eyes, and how my dad felt about Portuguese people. You know what I mean? And because you gotta understand something, if you have a family member who fought in that shit lasts for a lifetime. I don't care who it is. If you go to war, no matter what kind of war you're in, be it urban war or out on these streets, be it guerrilla war, whatever kind of war it is, that shit lasts for a lifetime. You're not gonna be the same person if you've experienced or witnessed it or been in that shit. You know what I mean? And so it's not just soccer that the problem lies. It's the overall fabric of the society in which the fabric lies. And I'm going to say that the blame can be put, number one, on us, for the simple fact that we're in a situation that we have to immigrate to these places, and we have been dumbed down to a fact that most of us think we can't make the changes at home to build up home to a point where we don't have to worry about immigration, and we don't have to worry about going anywhere else to live a semi-decent life. That's the first problem. The second problem is the fact that you have to understand something. Portugal used to be a fascist. It used to be ran by a fascist leader. And so, with that being said, there's still that undertone in the society. I mean, sure, people intermarry, this, that, and the other, you know, but at the end of the day, those few intermarriages aren't really going to be looked at as, you know, statements as that it's not a racist society or anything like that. And this is not just in the Portuguese league. This is in the Spanish league. It's happened in England. It's happened in Italy. And at the end of the day, I think the only thing that's going to change this is players refusing to play for the team, period, until they add more strict guidelines and stricter conditions on racism. Because all they do is when the team's fans get caught with racist chants, all they do to the team is fine it, like 15,000 euros or something like that. That's nothing for the team. These teams generate millions upon millions of euros. So what's a couple of thousand euros to them when they're going to generate that much? And then another thing, but they haven't really implemented it like that, is they sometimes play games at empty stadiums, but they don't really do that much, you know. And maybe that may have to occur. And here's the thing that I kind of was disturbed about in the whole situation. His teammates were trying to stop him from walking off the pitch. I would have walked off the pitch with him. The hell? I'm not going to stop him. And then you have you have people from the rival team trying to do the same thing, trying to stop him from walking off the pitch. Don't stop the man. You know? And by the way, the goal he scored was very, very class. Very, very clutch. What he did was it was from a long ball, because pretty much, you know, a lot of soccer these days is based on long ball. So the long ball came to him. He did a very simple touch, which put the ball ahead of him, and he was able to chip it in, which takes a lot of skill. What he did took a considerable amount of skill. And so I like the goal. The goal was class. And it was the winning goal at that, because the game was tied. But again, I say with these kind of things going on, it's better for us to just boycott it until they make stricter guidelines. Because you have to understand that you have to protect players. And then another thing too you have to realize is this. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'll end on this note. You have to understand something. What if there's some black fans in the crowd and they happen to be next to people who have those feelings? that honestly puts their lives in jeopardy. Because you know hooliganism exists in football. So what if they decide they're going to just take, let's take a scenario, okay? Say there's some black fans in the crowd, and they're going for the other, they're at a game. There's some away supporters who support the rival team. The away supporters have traveled to support their team. Let's just say it's for a regional cup or something, right? Say a black player scores against their rival team, and there's some black fans in the stands. What if they decide, okay, well, since they scored, I might as well take my anger out on them since they happen to be in the same color. It can happen like that. So what I'm saying is these governing organizations need to be doing more. They really do. Enough is enough already. This has been going on for so long now. Why are we reading this still? But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments about that. Just a disclaimer: if you leave stupid comments and things like that, I'm going to hurt your feelings. That's just the bottom line. The last people who have left stupid comments on the comment section, I've hurt their feelings, and they've probably cried up 1,000 tears in their basements. Okay. If you have a comment that's objective, that's that makes sense, that's balanced, then I'll respect it and I will engage. Okay. That's the bottom line. Even if you disagree with me, I'm not a totalitarian, authoritarian mindset. It's not my way or the highway on this page, just so you know. But it is a respectable dialogue that maybe you have a point of view and I can see it from that point of view. And that's how we're gonna have it. Okay? Full signing out. Inshallah.